welcome back to Popcorn Heroes.
Yeah.
What up, man?
Chilling. How about you?
Good. So today we're gonna review Godzilla, King of Monsters.
King of the Monsters.
Nice. Yeah.
The long-awaited, for me, sequel to the 2012?
2015.
Shit. Was it
Right?
really that late? Oh.
2015 Godzilla, the first Godzilla was 2015.
2014. My Google foo is on point. Yeah. Did you like that last one?
I did. It was okay.
Okay.
And so I felt the same way about this one.
Ah, okay.
So like always, guys, we're going to go into spoiler-free reviews. We're going to give a synopsis of the movie, and then we're going to jump into spoiler territory. So Pedro, take it away. Synopsis of Godzilla.
So Godzilla, King of the Monsters is, in case those that are not in the know, it's part of this another universe, a movie universe called the Monsterverse. And right now it just consists of the 2014 Godzilla and Kong Skull Island, and now this one. So again, everyone's trying to get their hands on that type of cinematic universe.
Everyone wants to be the next MCU.
Yeah, but obviously this one's not going to do it. But so this movie is pretty much really close to like the old movies. So it brings in and it introduces King Ghidorah, which is kind of like the main villain for Godzilla, and then Mothra, which is like, you know, the good, like the protector. Rodan, another fan favorite. So it's got like a few little like fan favorite kaijus from the old movies. So and it's pretty much the same shit as usual, just them wrecking the world and Godzilla comes to the rescue. There's not really too much
pretty much
plot wise, especially with the humans. Yeah, there's a human plot in there somewhere, but does anyone really give a shit? Not really.
Yeah, and it's pretty weak in my opinion. But other than that, that is a good summary of it. So my review of it so far, spoiler-free review of it, is that it's not good.
Yeah, 1 out of 5. What do you give it?
I give it about a 2.3.
2.3. I love how freaking specific you are. You won't go to 2.5. You won't go to, but you got to put 2.3.
What is 2? What is it 2?
2 means you didn't like it. And 3 means you liked it. So it's in the middle.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
But more towards didn't like it.
Right, yeah.
Therefore, the 0.3.
Yeah, 0.3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how come?
So I realized after watching this movie that I'm not into kaiju movies, I guess. And it's because the fighting is so slow. Like,
that makes sense.
With such big creatures, you really can't. There really isn't that much momentum, and there is not that much moveset you can do other than like throw someone against the wall.
Yeah, tackle, tail whip, bite.
And anything too fast and like nimble just seems out of place. Like if Godzilla did a fucking backflip, I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Oh no, of course. That's why they never do that.
Right, exactly. So I'm just not. So the fighting aspect of it all didn't grab me, and then I thought the human characters, made really poor decisions in terms of like, this doesn't make sense in terms of like just anything, just regular like logic in my opinion. But other than that, I just thought it was a weak movie with like nice visuals. It is very visually pleasing.
Yeah.
That is a good part of it. What do you think?
I, on the other hand, you already know. I'm very biased. I love my kaiju movies. I was raised off of them, for those not in the know. So I give it a 4 out of 5. I really liked it. Like, it's everything I wanted in a movie. So when I saw the 2014 Godzilla, it's good as like an intro, because it's like the mystery. Oh, you don't see the monster fully. You don't see any of the monsters.
Yeah.
And right when they're about to fight, they find some way to take you away from the action, because you're following the human characters. Like, they're running. The door closes before the fight starts. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I just want to see them fight. Okay, it's fine. And then, yes, in the last 20 minutes, you finally get your fight. So in this one, you already know what Godzilla looks like. You already got the feel for what it is. So I watched this for like fucking fights.
Destruction, right?
Destruction. And that's exactly what I got out of it. Like, yeah, of course, you, like every Godzilla movie ever, you get your human moments. But really, I just came here for the fights and all those famous like kaijus from the old movies. I wanted to see them in this amazing like visuals.
Right, the visuals are great. I mean,
especially King Ghidorah. Every time he was on screen, that shit was like menacing, like with the lightning and everything.
Yeah. Visually, like it was on point. Like I can't take that away from the movie for sure.
Yeah.
And I did like one aspect of like the story. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool that the humans did that. Other than that, I'm like,
oh, we can get right into it. Pretty much, I give it a 4 out of 5. I really liked it. It gave everything I wanted, and that's that.
Yes.
So we can cut right into
So what I did like is that the spoilers, guys.
spoilers.
Ahead. So what I did like about the movie was I did like the technology they used against the monsters, where they created like this.
Somewhat like the oxygen destroyer type weapon.
No, not that. The sonar, or like the alpha male voice box. So
yes.
they created like this voice meter, basically like this thing that takes all of the monsters like frequencies and their batter cry, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then finds like kind of like intertwines them and finds an alpha voice to
like
send
control
out.
them.
Yeah, to control them. Because these are pretty much, they're primitive creatures, and they've all lived on Earth dormantly for centuries. And so like any pack, whatever, they followed an alpha. So the humans made a box, a voice box that can replicate an alpha speaking voice. And I thought that was pretty cool, because I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's
the what do they call them? The MacGuffins. It's pretty much the one item that everyone in the movie's like trying to get.
Right, basically, yeah. And I did like that. I did like I like the concept of it. I like the idea of like these creatures are like pack of wolves, and they all have an alpha male. And obviously the alpha male is Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I
or so you think.
And so you think, of course. What I didn't like was so basically these two scientists make their husband and wife, they make this voice box to control the creatures.
Right.
And then they have a divorce. They break up because their child died in 2014 Godzilla.
Yeah.
Gets stomped or like crushed by a building in the
Right. You assume he died during the building.
Yeah, basically like they're running away from like basically when Godzilla fights anything, shit's about to get destroyed.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot like that Man of Steel moment. And then,
where like they're breaking through buildings, and like even though he's trying to like fight evil, he's still fucking shit up. It's kind of like Goku whenever he has to fight someone, buildings and ultimate destruction is gonna be like destroyed. So their son dies in the process of that, and they get divorced and live through all this turmoil. And so the wife still keeps the box, and well, actually they destroy it, but she reinvents it.
Right. Yeah, she rebuilds it.
She rebuilds it and makes it stronger, and adds all these modifications. And you basically find out that she is working with a
like this eco-terrorist.
counter-terrorist group.
Eco-terrorist group.
And they believe that that humans have messed up the balance of the Earth.
Right.
And to create balance.
Yeah. Pretty much we're destroying the world.
Right.
And because we're like a virus, so they believe that the Titans, which is what they call all the kaijus, the Titans are kind of like the antibodies.
The reset button.
Yeah. So the eco-terrorists are pretty much saying they need to rule again.
Right.
So that we can get, I don't know what
they want, but
it's
like destroy, kill us all, and then hopefully we'll be around to like rebuild.
But, of course, later in the movie, you see that we actually worship them, blah, 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 blah. Who knows, whatever. They pretty much wanted to go back to the Dark Ages.
Yeah, it seemed that way. And so she works with the eco-terrorist. And the only thing, just the beginning part, it was making no sense. At first, she's part of
She's part of the Monarch Group, which is actually the company that's in all the movies.
Right, which is in Skull Island and the first Godzilla.
Yeah. They're supposed to study the monsters and either keep them safe or kill them if they're dangerous. Yeah,
they're pretty much a militant group as well. They have a military. And so she works for the Monarch Group, and she does science for them, but obviously she's in cahoots with the eco-terrorists. So she has this plan for the eco-terrorists to come in and take the voice box to unleash all the Titans.
Pretty much, one by one to wake them up.
Yeah. So the beginning starts off, which it makes no sense to me, which me and you talked about it after we saw it, where her daughter, played by
Millie Bobby Brown, aka 11 from Stranger Things.
Her daughter is with her during this science experiment where they're breaking out. Who did they break?
The first one was Mothra, the one that was in the cocoon.
Yeah, they're breaking out Mothra, and Mothra obviously gets upset. because she's broken out and she's just like, what the fuck's going on? She's about to attack, and they release the voice box. They find the alpha frequency and calm her down.
Calms her down. Yeah.
But her daughter is in on this, like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? And then the eco terrorists attack, and then it looks like basically they got kidnapped, but the mom's all in on it.
Right, that's a twist.
That's the twist, because at first it looks like she got kidnapped and like what the fuck's going on, but then you find out she was part of all of it, and she like knew that it was gonna happen. And so what my logic is, it's like, why is your daughter there during this time? Like, why did you bring your daughter at this moment that like you clearly know like a terrorist attack is about to happen, and that she could either get shot or hurt in the conflict. She could die in the process, or Mothra is gonna like, kill her. So it's like, it makes no sense to have your daughter along. I understand bringing your daughter along for like to take her like within the eco-terrorist group, but she shouldn't be at that facility at that time, because it puts her in grave danger.
Yeah, what I didn't really understand either was that later on she's like, oh, we talked about this. You knew this would happen. And she's like, oh yeah, but I didn't think. And I'm like, wait, how much? So I don't even know how much the daughter knew. Like, did she know they would start killing people? Like,
it could be that she knew, but at the end of the day, like,
yeah, she knew. But
why would you put her in harm's way? Like,
right.
Those guys came in guns blazing, and at the end of the day, you couldn't miss and kill your daughter in the process.
Movie logic, man.
Yeah,
they just had to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, and so it just didn't make any sense, in my opinion, in terms of like why would you do that? And then they put her in harm's way again. So they go to King Ghidorah's
Antarctica.
And they go to where all the monsters are dormant in some part of the world.
Right.
So they go to Antarctica, and they just allow her to roam the facilities again, and they clearly are going to wake up this behemoth of a monster.
Right, which is who they think is the alpha.
Right. And it's like, why? I understand why they're doing it, but why have her along for the ride, especially like, you're traumatized because you lost your son. And so you think you don't want your son to die in vain, and you don't want your studies to go in vain either. So you're like, okay, well, let's create
You actually got a pretty good point there. They don't want. She wouldn't want the daughter in danger if the son died doing that, or somewhat.
Your son died just literally by escaping escaping Godzilla's destruction, and your daughter is literally right in its face. It's like, why would you put her in harm's way? I understand that you.
Especially when she sets it off, like right in front of everybody.
Exactly.
When the father's there.
Exactly. And
like, run! And it's like, yeah, but you're still there with your fucking daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand that, like, I understand that, like, their son dying sends, like, a message of, like, man, we fucked up, and these are the equilibrium of the natural, of Earth's natural, like, defenses. So we need to unleash these defenses so we can go back to being like fine, and we can reset the earth.
Yeah,
and I understand all that, and it's fine. But clearly, like your daughter matters to you, and you don't want to die.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can release all of these Titans for sure, but to put, I can understand why you're putting yourself in harm's way, because that is your like job, and that is your like not dream, but your mission. But to have her along for the ride makes no sense. And I get it. It's a driving force because she's fucking 11 from Stranger Things. She's a very popular star right now.
Yeah, she's a moneymaker. They had to keep her in almost every scene.
Exactly.
No matter what.
And she's an upcoming star, so it's important to have her. But like story-wise, it just didn't make sense. I can understand if she snuck around. No one saw her.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't like, her mom said, stay right here, don't do shit. And she's like, nah, fuck that. Then okay, I'm cool with all that. But she was front facing, and she knew everything, and it just didn't make any sense character wise on the mom's part.
Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, but at the end of the day, I didn't watch Godzilla King of Monsters to listen to a family drama that made sense. I went to see some fucking monsters. So, watching King Ghidorah in action when he breaks out and he starts fucking shit up, and a cool little detail. So when King Ghidorah was actually like, back when they were like bodysuits, and the 3 different fucking heads would like roam around, they were actually controlled by 3 different people. Like like with string and shit.
Yeah.
So in the old movies, you'll look at his 3 heads flailing around, and they make no fucking sense from one to the other. It's kind of like, oh shit, these 3 heads are like
they're different people, and they're
Right.
not really like, you know.
Yeah. So I liked how they translated that into this movie. They
Yeah.
actually showed that all 3 heads had their own personality. Like, you even had the dumb one that, like, I don't even know if it was like the head all the way in the left that actually started sniffing stuff and like was like really curious, while the
Yeah.
other one was like more aggressive.
Right. The middle one seemed like the alpha
Yeah.
in the group.
Yeah, it's when they like it bit at both of them, like, yo, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it was little details like that. I was like, this is fucking awesome. And every time, you know, he would shoot out his electricity, I was like, fuck yeah. And then Godzilla comes out of the water and he does his atomic breath. So I was like, this is everything I fucking wanted.
I did like the scene where the scientist, I forgot his name, but the Asian dude, he does
Oh yeah. I know his real name, Ken Watanabe.
right. And
Oh yeah, Serizawa. That was his name. He's
Serizawa.
actually a reference to like the really old like scientist from the first movie.
right. And yeah, I did like the part where he goes to see Godzilla to basically they realize that Godzilla is underpowered and he's like in this temple trying to recuperate and to get ready for the big fight. And so they want to unleash like a nuclear bomb next to him to like get him energized.
Yeah, you're talking about Atlantis.
Yeah,
It's essentially the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like
Well,
nukes are dropped not a lot in this movie, but bombs are dropped a lot. Like I can
Right.
imagine like the aftermath of all this. Like
Mm-hmm.
they essentially like nuke Godzilla.
Yeah, well, it's because so the movie sets up, even in the first one, that these monsters are attracted to
Radiation.
radiation because it's what heals them. It's what gives them life. Blah blah blah. It's what gives a lot of things life, actually, because you know the big thing with radiation, it actually like life comes back after a while. All that good stuff. So yeah, so it was set up already. So the fact that Godzilla's hurt and he got his ass handed to him
Yeah.
by Ghidorah and Rodan, actually, because it was in that first fight in Mexico City where Rodan comes out of the volcano.
Right, he's fighting both of them.
Yeah, so it was set up that pretty much that's right, because the Atlantis city is in a spot with a lot of radiation, like in the core, and that's where he's sleeping, healing. But they would say it would take months, it would take years, who knows.
Right.
So that's when he comes with the idea, let's just nuke the fucker.
Yeah.
And then we'll just, you know, it's kind of like an adrenaline shot to the heart, like in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then this guy does his little self-sacrifice, which is a cool moment, actually. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool.
It's cool because his great-great-grandfather, I guess, in the old movies, was the one that actually kills Godzilla by sacrificing himself. He gets like a bomb that's like the oxygen destroyer bomb, which is supposed to like destroy, you know, the oxygen from everything.
Oh, so what they use also in the movie?
Yeah, but they were just like little rockets. This was like an atomic bomb of that.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way to get it close enough was for a guy to actually do it, because it was the same shit. It's like the remote control or whatever didn't work, you know, the typical. So it was pretty much the exact same thing as like his descendant would have done,
Right.
but it was the exact opposite. Instead of killing him, it was saving him. So it's like poetry. It was kind of
Right.
cool to see, like, oh yeah, I get what you're doing.
For fans
there.
like you, it must have been very like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. Yeah.
I was like, I see what you did there. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. And what'd you think of I guess the big final fight where he's basically like getting like glowing because of the nuclear attack and he's like about to like like go Super Saiyan basically.
Well, yeah. Well, before that, some of the things I really love was Rodan actually got out of the volcano and he was like fucking shit up with the planes, doing all the, you know, all that carnage. And I was like, hell yeah, this is what I wanted. Especially when he flies around, he creates like the hurricanes and shit.
Yeah.
And then you got Mothra that finally appears, which is very like angelic.
Right.
And
very yeah.
And Mothra and Godzilla do team up from time to time in the old movie. So again, they brought that back.
Right. They stay. They kind of like.
Yeah.
They also they're mates.
Yeah. So that final fight is kind of like a 2 versus 2. It's Rodan and Mothra, and then Ghidorah and Godzilla, and of course, Mothra sacrifices herself to like save him before actually, you know, like fucking up Rodan.
Right.
Which is cool because Mothra in the old movies, she just flies around. She doesn't have any legs or stingers or any of that. So in this movie, they actually made her like formidable. Like she had the bee sting and like fucked them up. But yeah, so that a Super Saiyan Godzilla actually is in the older movies as well. It's called Burning Godzilla, and it's the same thing. It's when he like gets too much atomic power in him, and he starts like overpowering. So this was another reference to that.
Right.
So it looked like the movie kind of made it seem like it was Mothra's like dying breath. They gave him like power to like go Super Saiyan. Because I noticed when she died, like the powder like got into him, and
he absorbed like her life force.
So I took it as that rather than the actual atomic bomb. But no, I love that he actually went Super Saiyan. He just fucking crushed. It wasn't even a fight at that point. He was just like melting before him, and I thought that was really cool. The only thing that looked a little strange was when Ghidorah's head is missing, and it looks like he was eating the head. I don't know if you remember that part.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I do.
It was a little strange because he had like the neck in his mouth, and it almost looked like he ate him whole instead of just eating the neck.
Yeah.
Just the way it was filmed or whatever, however it was animated, I'm like, that looks a little weird, but I get what you were going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, overall, I loved it. Oh, and there was another cool little Easter egg. So this is a little weird now. This is where it gets weird. In the Mothra movies, there are these like tiny little fairy twins. They're Asian twins, and they sing to Mothra. And it's like, yeah, they're like the guardians of the world.
That'd be terrible. They added that in this movie.
Oh, yeah. But they did their own version of that. So the scientist, the Asian scientist chick, she had a twin sister. And then they're the ones that help uncover like Mothra's like burial site or digging site.
Oh, okay.
So that was the reference there. And you remember it kept showing her descendants, and all of her descendants were twins. They were all looking for Mothra. So I'm like, oh, that's way better than Twin Fairies.
Yeah,
way better.
Okay, I get it.
Especially since they didn't sing, that was even better than that. But yeah. So I mean, overall, I loved it. Like that final fight was awesome. And then the after credits,
right?
The eco terrorists at the end actually find a Ghidorah head. So
yeah, at that point, like you don't care about like at that point because. That it's just weird because at that point, like they really lost like sight of their like vision because at that point the tie-ins are released.
Yeah, and
then either they don't know that King Ghidorah is like not really from Earth, like he is an alien.
Yeah,
because that's what the monarch discovered.
Right.
The eco-terrorists might not know that yet, but
yeah. Well, that's actually what made her leave when she realized that.
Right, exactly, and
the mother.
Right. And she realized that, but I'm not sure if they realized that.
Right.
They told her that. Yeah. The monarch people told her that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure if the eco-terrorist people are unaware of like what King Ghidorah really is. Right. But essentially, like, even if they wanted balance, right? Their whole idea is balance. Fucking, he died. He lost.
Right.
And Godzilla, like, lived.
Yeah.
So that's it. Like you have to let that play out then because your whole shit is balanced.
Well, no, their balance part is that humans need to stop fucking the world up.
Right.
And at this point, humans still will be doing it.
Right. But the thing is like your message is release the Titans and they will create equilibrium.
They'll create balance, yeah.
They'll create balance. You release all the Titans. The main one died.
Yeah.
A new Alpha has become king,
which is actually a badass scene. When I thought that shit was awesome, where they're all coming towards him,
right? And they all like bend the knee.
Yeah. They pretty much all bend the knee to him. And one of them was even the monster from the older movies, from the movie before, the Muto, that type of monster.
It's cool that like you see them, and it would have been I guess too much to see them all fight, but it's cool that they do give them like a little bit of like shine.
I get what you're saying. It's pretty much like. Okay, yeah. At this point, you're just typical villains.
Yeah, you just wanna fuck shit up because who's like the fight's over, but who's to say that they're not gonna quit now that they're all loose? Who's to say they're not gonna create like equilibrium or chaos?
Yeah.
Because you don't right. Obviously, we know they're not. We know Godzilla's gonna be like, all right, guys, let's go back to sleep. We're tired.
Probably. And
then they all go back to sleep until some other shit happens.
Yeah.
But how do you not know that? How do you know that? You know. Yeah. And either way, like them releasing has caused hurricanes, tornadoes, volcano eruptions. Who's to say this is not the equilibrium that you're asking for? So like they're batshit crazy at this point. They want destruction of the whole world.
I could tell you're studying psychology because this is a movie about kaiju action and you're trying so hard to understand these villains.
And the comedy did not work. That white dude that kept making the dumb jokes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, so bad.
You didn't even like the part. He goes, "Oh my god," and he goes, "Zilla."
No, that's so stupid.
You know, I saw that part in the trailer and I thought it was awful. But in the context of the movie, his delivery was a lot better.
Yeah, but
I actually got a chuckle in that scene.
most of his delivery was really bad. Like when he's like, when I think there's just like, oh, open the doors. And he's just like, what, you want to invite him in for a beer? Like, I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. He's always that typical nerd.
Yeah.
That cracks the joke, the comedy sidekick.
But other than that, you're right. I am way too focused on the humans. I'm not focusing enough on the kaiju. I know. So overall, decent movie.
With the special effects, great.
Special effects were really good.
Yeah.
And I never saw Skull Island, so I have to go back and watch it.
Skull Island has a so more dumb humor though. Right. So prepare for that.
I mean, I think I might like it more because John C. Reilly's in it.
Yeah.
And I like John C. Reilly.
He is the comedy sidekick.
But I think he maybe do a better job like line delivery.
I think he just acts like John C. Reilly. So if you like him, then you're good.
Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
I'm looking forward to the next one, which might even be the last one because this one didn't make money. But Kong versus Godzilla, which I know that's what it sounds like, but it's gonna be the same Batman versus Superman thing. The eco-terrorists are gonna do something with Ghidorah's head, probably clone something, and then Kong and Godzilla got to work together to fuck it up. That's pretty much what it's gonna be about.
Yep. That seems about right.
And I think that's going to be the end. Unless that movie happens to miraculously make a fuck ton of money, I think that's the end of the monster universe.
Yeah, so. It's hard, man, for studios to figure out what's going to be big and what's not going to be big. And especially like when everyone is trying to... When Disney owns so much of the conversation, it's just like, well, where can you put your movies?
Yeah. Didn't work too well for Universal Monsters.
No.
That Mummy was oof.
Oh, right. They were doing that too.
Yeah.
They were doing that.
They did it. They even had their own logo.
They did Monster. They did the Mummy and they did the vampire movie.
No, that was it. They just did the Mummy.
No, the Dracula movie is part of it.
Yeah, unofficially.
I think it was officially. They just didn't. They were saying it like it was like a press release, but like it's not like it. The movie didn't show anything tying into it. But I think press release they mentioned that it was going to be part. It's part of the monster universe.
Oh, we'll see.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to find something that's gonna stick, you know. But yeah, overall, man, decent movie. If you like kaiju movies, go watch it. If you don't watch it.
I just looked it up. It's called The Dark Universe, and no, it's just The Mummy.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
That movie didn't do good either, so.
Nope. That's that. Goodbye, Dark Universe. Anyways, I highly recommend it if you're a kaiju fan or any Godzilla-related fandom. Definitely check it out. It's everything you want. Fuck the human problems. Orlando said they make no sense, and I agree. They don't.
They don't make sense.
But who cares?
That's true.
Alrighty then.
All right, guys. So we'll catch you later for another episode of Popcorn Heroes.
Bye-bye.
Later, guys.